Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Tessa Arnold. She is an Ayurvedic and lifestyle coach, wellness entrepreneur. She is the founder of Snapback Energy. Welcome to the show, Tessa.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and be a part of this.
You are welcome to the show, Tessa. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to discuss about. We're going to talk about Ayurveda, we'll talk about health and wellness. So, my first question is to understand, Tessa, help understand how did you get into Ayurveda? Did Ayurveda come to you or you went to Ayurveda? Ayurveda is very much part of our Indian way of life.
It is, and it's so beautiful. I mean, all the way back from the Vedics and 5,000-year-old probably plus body of knowledge, and it found me. Of course it did. It's the science of life. So how could it not? It found me at a time that I was ready to receive it, understand it, and bring it into my life. And it actually knocked on the door, and I saw it. It was around me. It was in my environment when I went on a trip out of the country. And I thought that was interesting. And I took part in the nutritional aspect of it and the daily diet. And I was like, oh, this feels really good. And that's interesting. But I didn't delve into it. I sort of left it there. And as most things do, when they're meant to find you, they do. And they continue to knock on that door. And it continued to knock on the door until I was ready to say, all right, this feels too good. The embodiment of the six pillars of health and what Ayurvedic really is and the Ayurveda lifestyle. And so I delved deeper. And yes, it most definitely found me.
Right. Wonderful. So, to understand from you, how did you build up a business around it so that
Yeah.
you can do things much more in a wholesome manner so that you can
Yes.
bring it to the world in as good a manner as possible? And it can be only possible if you are putting some strong foundation to it, putting some business understanding around it. How did you build that up? And because it's a new sort of a thing, it needs a lot of understanding that you need to get into yourself and also
Right.
explain to a lot of people, especially in today's time when there is a lot of talk about more different sort of modern medicine. So I
Yes.
want to understand
Yeah.
from that backdrop.
That perspective, absolutely. And such a good question. So I did not have the idea or the expectation that I was going to go into learning and delving deeper into the Ayurvedic lifestyle. And then I was going to put forth a business. It happens that way, right? You determine what your vocation is through creativity, embodiment, intention, and attention. And I started to put action into learning what this lifestyle, what this body of knowledge really was. And as I'm learning it, I'm putting it into my life and I'm embodying it. And I think that's the most important thing. If you are passionate and curious and constantly learning and evolving, as we all should be in this life experience, then it makes too much sense not to share that information when it feels so good with others. And that's where the Balance of Yuko was born and formulated, which is my second business in a conjunction with Snapback Energy. Beautiful synergies between the two: wellness, protecting your body, loving your body so it can love you back. But that's sort of the steps that it took. It's learning about the Ayurvedic lifestyle, right? This 5,000-year-old plus body of knowledge that predates modern science, that predates modern medicine, right? And it's the science of life fundamentally based on the six pillars of health, and really understanding that mind body connection, the soul connection, and creating a beautiful balance within it with utilizing this knowledge. So as I'm taking the steps, as I'm going through my courses, as I'm learning, as I'm putting this into my life, creating this beautiful synergy, I go into flow. So I'm in this flow state, in this creative state, because it feels good. I'm finding my fulfillment. I'm finding one of my purposes, and I continue to move forward. And from that, within 9 months is born a business and its Balance of Yuko. And business in all sense that I had to put structure on the ability to then put this out into the world because it was too good to keep to myself. It felt too good. It created too much peace within me that I had to share this with others because that's what I was meant to do. So then I created Balance of Yuko where I can do that with my clients, and even just with those who are interested. You can go on the website and you can find out a lot of information from a very simplistic level of what Ayurveda 101 is, from a high sense, right? It's so much more than just conceptually an idea or the science of life, but you can start the journey into it and delve deeper.
Right, right. So let's understand from somebody who wants to get started
Mhm.
into it. You talk of 6 pillars of health
Yes.
with regards to Ayurveda. Help us understand that so that someone who listens to it understands Ayurveda in the way you want you explain to others.
Absolutely. So, the way that I embody it and share with my clients as a lifestyle coach is we walk through the nutrition, we walk through the sleep, we walk through meditation, we walk through your healthy emotions. Right, and movement. So you're going to go through all of those things in 101 sessions. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to understand fundamentally how you're moving through the day, right? How are you sleeping? What does your nutrition look like? What is your emotional regulation? How do you identify with your thoughts and your actions? What's the overall feeling in your body, right? We simplistically break it down to going within first and basically ask, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? How are you feeling on a weekly basis? What feels good? Have you checked in with yourself, right? And then we get into the prana, the breathing exercises. So, AJ, everything that I said there are things that we do on a daily basis. It's nothing new, it's nothing that we don't know already. So, when we talk about these 6 pillars of health, it's not something, oh my goodness, we've never heard about this before. No, it's how we're operating at a human level in this embodiment, right? It's how we're working through the day and how we're managing life as it is. And life in itself is difficult, it's challenging, it's meant to challenge us, right? We're meant to discover the best possible way to live this life as the fullest expression of ourselves in a balanced, fulfilling way. And that doesn't mean it's not without hardship. It absolutely is. But with the hardship, there's also so much beauty to it that I really do try to break down how we are operating at a human level and then determine, are we getting the best possible experience from it, utilizing balance, utilizing healthy eating habits, which means what works based on your dosha or your profiling from a body composition level. And then we go from there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. In terms of nutrition, Tessa, a lot of people who are, very much accustomed to fast food. Also, the life is so fast
Yes.
that that can be a challenge to stick to. How do you explain the right kind of nutrition to people? Is it easy? It is difficult? How do they understand things from Ayurveda perspective in terms of nutrition?
Absolutely. Such a good question. In today's society, we have the ability of sort of instant gratification, right? So there's food that's readily available to us. We have a lot of quick food. We have easy food that we can grab on the go. It's inexpensive. It's available to you. It's available to the kids. You can get it quick. And that's because we're moving at such a fast pace, right? We're constantly being bombarded and overstimulated by go, 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 go. We've lost the idea that we can find stillness within the day, and stillness is still productivity. So I'd break your question down into 2 parts. First, let's talk about just how we move throughout the day. Constantly going, constantly moving, constantly from this thing to the next, overstimulated, bombarded with technology, everything's saying, look at me. And we almost have start to, as a culture, feel guilty in a sense, especially in the West, when we are just being still. But stillness is such a beautiful, peaceful practice. And it's something that we all need to incorporate into our lives. And once you start to do it, and I will say it can be very uncomfortable when you start to do it, which just shows how much more we need it. And I'm not necessarily saying you need to find stillness in meditation. Yes, meditation is a beautiful practice and it can look different from anybody. And we do go through the foundation. But just finding stillness, a lot of people don't realize stillness allows you the time to be creative. I think it's 85 to 90% of the most creativity comes from being still and being quiet within yourself. And that's where you truly have some self actualization. So, again, busy, busy, busy. We're running around. Nutrition. Nutrition is so fundamentally important. How you are loving your body through your nutritional values and what you take in is how your body's going to love you back. We have to get back to understanding gut health and how fundamentally important it is to our overall well being of our bodies and our mental health. That connection between our gut health, our second brain, and our minds and our thoughts and our feelings and regulation of our emotion, and those are so incredibly intertwined. So, when we get into the nutrition, it is not a quick fix. Here's a meal kit plan that you're going to buy. No, it's understanding the composition of your body and how nutrition and food work for you. So, once you understand that, you can go to the grocery store, the local grocery store, whatever the market, whatever's accessible to you. Find ingredients and foods that are all readily available, and then combine them in such a way that you are fueling your body most efficiently so it can really love you back. Yes, preservatives, processed food, sugar food, glucose spikes, it's all there readily available to you. But they say discipline is determining what you want long term, having a beautiful goal or desire, and giving up that immediate short term need, right? So that want that you have short term, it's giving that up for the long term goals. That's the discipline. And trust me, when you put that discipline into place, things really start to shift in the most beautiful way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Out of the six pillars, you named four: nutrition, sleep, meditation, and emotion. So,
Mhm.
nutrition we have talked about, sleep, people will understand, meditation, people have learned a lot about it. Let's talk of emotions in today's time.
Yes.
How do you explain them about emotions,
Mm.
especially where people are very individualistic? People
Yes.
in nowadays, every time we talk
Yes.
about my rights, my thing, my
Yes.
feelings, self care in a positive way, but sometimes it can be selfish also. I want to understand how do you explain emotions from an Ayurveda perspective to an audience in the Western world, especially.
Absolutely. Oh, we could have a whole nother session on this and the values of a culture that we have lost. And it's not, it's been done slowly, chipping away over time, that the values of community and the greater good for many has been lost in translation. And we have to get back to that fundamentally. The pandemic did not help us, but it was already starting. When you talk about technology, when you talk about AI, when you talk about the social demands on our time, which isolate us and we don't understand, it isolates our children. It's creating a world where it is all about the I. And it's not necessarily that we're going out there and the ego's just, we're full on ego and that's all we can think about. No, it's that we are being conditioned slowly over time to go within and only think about us because it's that instant stimulation, instant gratification, looking at things. I need to be this way. I need to look like that. I need to do this. I need to go this trend. I need to put a video on TikTok. I need to post on social media. I. When in actuality, the fulfillment that we get emotionally, right? If we go back to Maslow's laws of needs and then you go to emotional needs, it's that attention, it's affections, it's the shelter, it's the food, it's the community. And I will say fundamentally, when you go into quality of life and you start to break that down simplistically, it's in selfless giving to others and belonging to a community. So we have to get back to the core values. We not only need to do this just if you want to practice the lifestyle that feels fulfilled and full and the fullest expression of yourself and feels good within your body and what you do. We also need to get back to it for society as a whole, right? We are driving ourselves very quickly into extinction by self isolation and by dominantly only worrying on ourselves. And that's a bold statement, but I will say it loudly. I was like, we truly are, and we need to take back, right, society's values. And what that is, it's selflessness. It truly is. But it's selfish in the sense that you take care of yourself. You take care of your thoughts. You take care of your body. You take care of your mind. You find peace within you, right? It's self referral, not object referral outside of yourself. Because then once you start to embody that, it becomes selfless and you want to give it out to others, right? You want to spread that out to others. Allow me to be, do the things, say the things, have the actions that are not only good for myself, but for the greater good of others. That's simplistically what it is. If you go back back in time, all the way predating when we were, tribesmen, and we were in these, we lived very often in our sympathetic nervous system, right? Because we had to flee animals. We were the prey. We weren't the fastest on whatever environment we were in, right? We didn't have the structures, we didn't have the tools, we didn't have the resources. We were simply trying to survive. And we found that when we were with a community, where we were with a bigger group of people, we not only found the safety and security within ourselves as a community, but we found value in the purpose that we held within the community. Where is that right now? Where is it? And that's where I really get into the healthy emotions and how you determine, right, purpose and fulfillment, and start to focus on your dharma and getting deeper into those, your vocation, your mastery. How do you give back? Because that's where fulfillment comes into place, right? With what you put out into this world. We all have gifts which are unique to us. And I hope at the end of this experience, I've given out all of my gifts, all of them, and have nothing left.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do your clients generally come to you for? What are the
Yes.
problems that they? I can understand the modern day problem, but I want to
Yes.
hear from you so that you can give first-hand experience examples.
I love this. There's so many different things. I will say fundamentally, they come to me quite a bit with a sense of mm, stuckness. They're stuck in a certain situation. Something feels uncomfortable to them. They are trying to find the term, I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to find what it is I'm meant to do. You're found. You are found. You're not lost out there. You're within. You have all that you could ever need. You are cherished, you are loved, you are complete as you are, and you are whole, right? So, those are the conversations. They could come to me and they could say it in so many different ways, but fundamentally, that's what it is. It's that it's going within and understanding and uncovering the beauty of just what you are on the inside, completely and whole, your essence, and coming back to it. Once you tap in and create that connection again to yourself, to your intuition, to your power as it is one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give to anybody, because you move through life in such a different way as a complete experience, not unattached from yourself and just floating or sleepwalking through life. You are truly living life to the fullest expression and experience, understanding what thoughts and emotions are, understanding what this embodiment is, understanding that this in itself is an experience and you are an agent of creating this experience. It's a gift. It's very powerful. You become magnetic.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is much for people to understand from
Yes.
you and get help about things. So, tell us a bit more about your company, Snapback Energy,
Yes.
and the other one.
Absolutely. So, Snapback Energy is a dietary supplement, really creating a beautiful balance within your life. But not only that, protecting your liver. The liver is one of the largest organs within the body. So, when you really get into that mind body connection and becoming an advocate for loving our body, we have a patented formula that is unlike anything out in the market. It is a powder packet you mix with water, you drink in the morning, drink before bed, so 2 to 1 times a day. And it really just helps your body perform at such a beautiful level that your liver, which supports over 500 plus functions within the body, can really boost. Your liver produces glutathione over time as our bodies start to age beautifully. It produces less. It's just one of the things, so we have to love it a little bit more, right? So your body's going to keep knocking on the door, say, love me more, until the end you are fully in love with your body and all that it has done for you throughout this entire journey. But what Snapback Energy does, it provides you with that additional boost to really protect yourself in all things within life. So it has all of the beautiful, just the antioxidants, it has the electrolytes, it has the liver support with our patented formula, which includes prickly pear, milk thistle, glutathione, amino acids, all of the things. And that was part of my journey, creating that business, leaving commercial banking, and really going off and pushing Snapback to what it is today. And I speak a lot about liver health and body. And then that moved me into continuing, how can I take this a little bit further and take care of my body even more? And then stepping into the realm of entrepreneurship, scary in itself, but I love it. I think everybody's capable of doing something like that if they become passionate about it, and understanding that the only limits that we put on ourselves are self-imposed. We truly have none. We are capable of anything, and some of the greatest mastery and skills and creativity if we allow ourselves time and stillness to be able to funnel into that. But from that, Balance of You Co was born. And that is really my Ayurvedic health and lifestyle coaching. We also get into beautiful synergies with that in between coaching on businesses, entrepreneurship, lifestyle changes. But then we do get into the 6 pillars of health because they're all beautifully interwoven together. All of this is just complete flow and creativity in this sort of life that I'm creating. Such things have also stemmed from that. As you see, I've got an aerial yoga hammock in the back,
Yes, yes, yes,
which I
yes.
took up, which came out from the movie. And I have a painting, actually, I didn't know that was going to be in the frame, that I've just been, this is creative. I stand up from my desk and I'll go flip in the hammock and then paint a picture. I have to expend a lot of this. And there's pictures all around in the back, but it's creativity, it's art, it's life, it's expression. I would ask us all, put the phones down, put the screens down, and express yourself. There's nobody else like you in this world. I want to see that all that you can create and express, but you're gelling your vibration, you're gelling your creativity when you with distractions. And that's not how life is meant to live. And that's what we talk about in the Balance of You. So yes, snapbackenergy.com, balanceofyou.com. Those are two of the businesses. Who knows what will be next? We'll see.
Right, right. So, what is the best way for people to get the best out of Tessa Arnold?
Absolutely. So you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram. I believe it's at Tess_Elizabeth1, a Balance of You Co. at Snapback Energy. So you can reach out. I go on there sometimes. It's limited. So I do try and keep all of my technology, but email would be great. So Tessa@balanceofyou.com is fantastic. I check that more. I love to connect. I have newsletters that go out monthly. So you'll see emails and subscriptions that go out on the Snapback Energy, on the balanceofyou.com. In my monthly emails, I do really try to hone in on different practices that we work on in conjunction with the 6 pillars of health. I give out recipes, movements. I'm also a certified yoga teacher, so I share that on my social media when I do go in. I teach classes weekly. Yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to delve deeper into this. I'm sure I'll have some webinars, some teachings that will come out. And I just need to continue to share as much as I can, right? The thoughts that come out in addition to, really the balancing of life as a whole and trying to make it as simplistic as possible. We overcomplicate things as much as we can as humans. Values, boundaries, love, connection, light, self actualization first and foremost. Those are simple terms, that can be very difficult to work on and to incorporate into your life. But once you do, it's one of the most beautiful gifts. And I'd say working on yourself is one of the most courageous things that you can do. And I know that we are all stronger than we believe, and you can do it too.
Absolutely, absolutely. With these good words of wisdom, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.